where's the body? Okay, fine, I'll go.
I just watched the latest screen adaptation of Salem's Lot, Stephen King's classic vampire novel of the 1970s. After a troubled production that saw its release delayed by over 2 years, the question is this a neglected diamond in the rough, or is it already dead on arrival? So, what did I think? New England, 1975, and author Ben Mears, played by Lewis Pullman, has returned to his childhood hometown of Salem's Lot, hoping to write a novel about the Marsden house, an abandoned mansion that overlooks the town and the site of a grisly murder 40 years earlier. But Ben discovers that the Marsden house has been bought by a Mr. Straker and a Mr. Barlow, whose influence begins to rapidly corrupt the town and its residents. From the moment it was announced in 2021 that It co-screenwriter Gary Doberman was adapting and directing Salem's Lot as a feature film, I couldn't help but think,
I got a bad feeling about this.
After all, the novel had been adapted already twice before. Tobe Hooper's groundbreaking miniseries made for an unheard of $4 million at the time and is still, 45 years later, considered not only one of the best King adaptations, but one of the iconic miniseries of the 1970s. Even today, it's still as suspenseful and filled with an American Gothic horror as the first night it was broadcast on CBS in the winter of 1979. It was then followed in 2004 by a TNT remake, which, although tried to stay loyal to the story, ended up deviating further from the source material, and is pretty much forgotten today. The only memorable fact about it now is it was filmed in Australia, an Australia that failed miserably to stand in for New England.
I happen to like it here.
Only on TNT.
So, with this version, I can't help but think, what, again? The sense of pointless folly was not helped by the fact this was first scheduled for theatrical release in the fall of 2022, with rumours of multiple reshoots before being pulled in the wake of COVID delays and rescheduled for release in 2023. Only for Warner Brothers in the midst of last year's writer's strike to once again pull Salem's Lot from the theatrical release schedule with the explanation that it would instead be put on HBO Max to make up for lost content in the aftermath of the strike. The 21st century equivalent of direct-to-video. The fate of so many King adaptations at the turn of the millennium. And with more delays that would take another year. With a theatrical release schedule limited to foreign markets only. The writing was clearly on the wall that having seen the finished product, Warner Brothers had lost faith in the project. So, were Warner Brothers correct to place it on streaming first? The answer is a resounding yes. From the title credits that echo a dozen similar opening titles from Game of Thrones to Shogun, showing a blood-stained map of Maine representing Barlow and Straker's bloody progression, this screams, I should have been a miniseries, not a feature film. You cannot escape the feeling. This is shabby, cheap, incomplete. A sensation not helped by the fact that the film opens halfway through the novel. There's no slow build-up, no sense of character development, no time to tell an actual story. Hooper's 79 miniseries, hell, even the 2004 version, realised part of the novel's success was down to the fact it took time to develop storylines and characters, to give them substance. So that when the end came, it made the lot's final fall into corruption more shocking. Here, all that is forgotten, with writer-director Doberman assuming instead that Stephen King regular William Sadler as Town Constable Parkins Gillespie saying, "Aye up, town's finished, will suffice." And that's the problem with Doberman's script. He assumes one or two lines of dialogue make up for a lack of substance. a lack of character. The reasons for Ben Mears' return to the lot, the death of his wife, what he saw in the Marsden house as a boy, are not just forgotten, they're completely erased. Now he's just a flat, one-dimensional character known as the writer fella who just happens to stumble upon a nest of evil. And it's the same with almost every other character. Susan Norton, played here by Mackenzie Lee, in the book, she's a fleshed out character with hopes and dreams. Here, she's just a real estate agent. While Matt Burke has no real defining character, Alfred Woodward plays a gender and race swap Dr. Cody. There's nothing wrong with Woodward's performance, but in changing Cody, it actually robs the character of the connection they have with Matt Burke and the reason they want to fight Barlow. By casting Woodward, it also robs the film of Cody's best scene. And all of the blame must rest at the feet of writer-director Doberman and the arrogance he shows in his direction and screenplay, deciding that he can write a better ending than King, taking key moments and characters and changing not only when they occur, but to who. There is a fine line between changing the story to make it work on screen to changing events and characters to make the film itself work. And Doberman has crossed that line. There is also the question of what exactly Doberman is adapting, the book or the 1979 TV miniseries. With Barlow's physical appearance and the final fight between him and Father Callahan and Father Callahan's fate, almost a shot-for-shot remake. Also isn't helped by evidence of harsh and, dare I say it, injudicious use of editing. Scenes feel crudely at points taped together, while characters refer to items and events that don't appear or happen on screen. Supporting characters turn up, say one or two lines, and are never heard from again. Or, in the case of Straker, disappear completely without explanation, while our leads refer to events that just happened, but didn't happen on screen. But safe to say, the biggest offence Gary Doberman makes in his rush to an absolutely silly and quite ridiculous ending, where we race from moment to moment without even consideration for the original book, is that it has no atmosphere. A horror film with no real horror. Just boredom. And that sucks.
Order. Order. Order.
Salem's Lot is just another predictable B-grade Stephen King adaptation closer to the Langoliers than, say, The Shawshank Redemption. You know there's a problem when the trailer is released and the only online talking point isn't the premise, the acting, or the anticipation of the film's immediate release. It's the fact it uses a 50-year-old song by Gordon Lightfoot. Salem's Lot is on Max in the United States and is being released in cinemas here and in the UK. I strongly suggest you save your money for another night and a far better film. I say, avoid.
Please, sir, I want some more. More? All right, stop it. Stop it right there. Go on, fill up the bowl.
And if you like this episode of So What Did I Think and want to see more, please click like and subscribe. Remember, always subscribe. Thanks for watching.